everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am continuing to make progress getting my summer borders replanted for winter right here in my Zone 7 Central North Carolina garden. Now, as you can see, the coleus behind me are looking a bit worse for wear, so I figure now is the perfect time, because it's still beautiful weather, to come out here and get this replanted. And this season I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to replace those coleus with a mix of daffodils and allium bulbs, and then I'm going to overplant with a mix of colorful violas. And then right along the edge I'm going to plant a garlic border to help prevent those animals from eating everything this winter. So stay tuned to watch my progress. So my philosophy for bulb planting is pretty basic. First of all, I don't ever plant them as deep as I should, but they still work. And you can see I'm just putting them super close together. And instead of digging a deep hole, instead I'm going to cover these up with the existing soil, and then I'm going to mound more soil on top of that. And that's kind of how I get away with planting bulbs more shallowly. I've also found that when I plant bulbs here as deep as they recommend, which, here's the back of the information, 4 inches deep, 5 inches apart, which, I was putting them on top of each other. But my water table here is really high in the winter, and I've had bulbs rot as a result of being planted at the recommended depth. So instead of deep, I plant them relatively high, and I just, again, am going to mound with a layer of soil cube. Well, talk about instant gratification. Is this soil cube not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen to plant in? I've included a link with a code that you can order soil cube and save money in the description of this video. And now I am ready to get this planted, and I've decided, as I was putting this in, I'm going to do violas. I'm also going to add some cabbage, but I'm going to do a top dressing of cilantro seed, because frankly I think that'll be the perfect thing to sort of fill in the open gaps, and then in the spring it'll bloom and it'll be so beautiful. So it's a really easy thing. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a 6-pack of stonehead cabbage, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps with colorful violas and ultimately overseed it. Okay, now that all of this is planted, I've got 2 final steps. Scatter cilantro seed right on top, and I'm going to plant all of this garlic that was growing just in some bunches. This is garlic I missed harvesting back in the spring, and I'm just going to separate it out into individual cloves and literally thumb it right into the edge to help deter animals. Now, it's important to note I'm not going to mulch this space at all. I want the cilantro to be able to germinate without any impediment, and all of these plants will ultimately grow wide enough to make it so you don't even see the ground plane. And really, that's always my goal: ground plane coverage to reduce your maintenance and make a small border super high impact. So just gonna literally grab a handful of these cilantro seeds, and I'm just gonna scatter them freely right on top of that amazing soil cube. And then if we don't get rain in the next couple of days, I'll go ahead and run a sprinkler just to make sure that all this gets watered in. But really, the days are getting really short, and though the temperatures are still above freezing, we're not very hot, so really don't have to irrigate nearly as often at this time of year. Okay, that final step of garlic, just to make the planting super simple, I'm going to go ahead with the pointy side of my groundhog and just make a small divot And I'm literally just going to thumb these cloves right into place, putting them about a half an inch to an inch apart. I really want to create an impenetrable barrier to help reduce voles from going into this bed from this side. And of course, the above ground foliage helps deter animals like deer, rabbits, and groundhogs. Plus, I love to eat garlic, and I love to be able to grow my own. So to ensure good seed germination on this cilantro, I'm just gonna go through and kind of rough it in. That way, I won't have to be worried. I'm not gonna pull a sprinkler out at this time of night. It'll be dark in a half an hour. Oh, this time of year. But I hope you'll see and be inspired by how simple this little winter installation is. And I look forward to sharing updates with you in my weekly garden tours. You can watch as this small border evolves over the course of the next couple of months. I don't know when the cabbage will actually be ready to be harvested. Definitely depends on weather. I would love to have it for like the New Year's time. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. And yeah, thanks again so much for watching, everybody. Happy gardening.